And we're back. We had a hiatus last Monday. We haven't did our report. Why? Because we were up north doing presentations, so seminars we've hosted through my company out in Toronto. So literally we did 2 days on investing, basically. Either it's an investor or realtors looking to talk to their clients regarding how to invest in Florida. We did two days on that. Sold out the first night. I think we're at 80-90% capacity, and the second night on Friday, which probably next time we're going to miss because it's hard to get people out. We had about 60% of the occupancy, which is great. And then we had 2 days on immigration. So we flew down 6 panelists or 5 panelists in total from the United States, and then one, our business partner, Mike Gaddy, was in-house clearly, but very successful. We sold out both days, which is fantastic. And again, we're grateful everybody showed up, and also it was a paid event, so that's why we made it a paid event for people to show up. But ultimately the feedback that we received from the attendees was outstanding, and that's what we're trying to do, is do a good job. We're not in it for the money. We're making sure that we're doing a great job. We're providing the right information for nationals that want to move into the United States, so that hopefully that all helped. We also have recorded the presentation, so there's obviously it's going to be a set fee, but you can watch all 2.5 hours. You can fast forward, you can rewind, you can do whatever you want with that video. Trent's worked on it. It's already in a link, so you can follow it. I think it's in my what is in the stories, Trent? What's that thing called? A bio. Link in the bio. So if you click Instagram, the bio, it'll have the option there to get into it. Let's talk about inventory. Very, very big. It's very big, I gotta be honest. This is great news, obviously, for selling real estate in Southwest Florida. We are on record pace, and to be honest, last week was the busiest week of my entire career, clearly presenting in front of over 200 people and dealing with all those calls and appointments. Last week I had I must have had about 7 to 8 to 9 appointments a day. It was something insane. Where even driving to pick up my daughter at high school, I was on a call and that was an appointment. So it was literally 8 to 9 appointments a day for 5 days, which was insanity. And we had some sort of rest on Saturday. We went to the pool and chilled, but it was insane. We're currently at 33 to 35 deals. I'm gonna find out this morning with my assistant. Just here in Southwest Florida. Obviously the Toronto side still doing quite well. We're probably 11, 12 deals into the year there. So we are on record pace. It's really exciting after all the hard work and effort. We're starting to see this mushroom effect, which is great. Talk about inventory, where we should have been between 26 and 28,000 units, to be honest, here in Southwest Florida. Given the snowbird season, the in-season as they call it, we're only at 23,164 units, so we're down 100 units since I reported 2 weeks ago, and sales are up about 100, which is around 15%. So 586 sales. Estero itself, 875 current listings and 35 sales, so really steady. I'm going to show you something pretty cool, and this is what I love to educate anybody that's watching, because there's a lot of clickbait on YouTube, and they're Florida's crashing, it's the end of the world, and blah 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 blah. If you notice, if you follow our social media through the years here, for a year and a half, almost 2 years, I never talked about investment properties. Why? It didn't make sense, and then we ramped it up. Why? Because it makes sense. We're not going to be selling duds. We want to make sure everyone's profitable. And then not only that, I'm putting my personal family money into the same project, so it's not like I'm selling you a project that I'm not heavily invested in as well. So this is how we do it. But let's take a look at this. This is exciting, and this is a good education lesson for clickbait or people watching clickbait. So let's take a look at inventory. Inventory is always the biggest thing, right? Because it's economics 101. The lower the inventory, the more the houses are going to be worth. The higher the inventory, the lower the homes are going to be worth. And this is how I kind of gauge everything even as an investor. So I picked out 4 communities like I always do. So Bonita Estero, Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples. So we got the whole of the Southwest corridor. Lehigh should have been in here, but we only have 4 communities to choose from. And this is what we do. We're multifaceted. We're not going to be just focused on one little pocket. We want to make sure we want to be all in on all parts of Florida and understanding it. So, and also, not to mention, we're going to be expanding to the East Coast shortly. When I get some time, we're going to figure that out, how that expansion is going to happen. So we're going to be involved there as well. But let's take a look at inventory. So I'm not going to add condos because, as you know, if you ever talk to me, I don't like condos. I don't think they're great investments. Never did. Even early in my career, 15, 16 years ago, I never put a dollar towards condos. I always sold them for clients because I got them into better investments after. Someone sold them the condo, and then I got them out of it and then put them into a different product. And that's usually single family homes, townhomes, villas, stuff like that. That's always going to generate more money and have a higher appreciation. And the reason for that is, this is supposed to be short, but again, when I start ranting, when you look at a condo, when you need to egress and get your cash out, that's the whole point of an investment. How fast you can get the return of your money to redeploy it, or if you need it for your own financial situation, you want to make sure you can get it as fast as possible. Problem is with the condo is you're competing against, if there's a building like up north, we had 300, 400, 500 units in a building, these big 70, 80 story buildings. You might have like 40, 50, 60, 70 listings in there. And it's not like they severely differentiate from every floor model. Obviously some do, you get lake views and south exposures, whatever. You're gonna have better views, but also like the units really don't change on the floor. They're exact same footprint all the way up. So when you need to egress, it's basically a race to the bottom, who's got the lowest price to sell. So that's why I never invest in condos, and this is why we don't include it in these searches as well. So what we're looking at is single family and townhomes, and take a look at new construction. This is where we did so well during this last 2 years, because obviously it was after 22 everything came down, the world economy in real estate, not just the US, and this was a very tricky part, because if you were overbuilt, it's going to show in the numbers. So let's take a look at where we are right now. So new construction right now, if you kind of look at that, look at Bonita Estero. It's 3.4 months of new construction inventory, which is absolutely super low for Florida standards. That's like bidding more territory, let's say that. Fort Myers, 5.4 months, Cape Coral 5.3. Naples Park is, if you know Naples Park, it's between Vanderbilt and Mercato, so really cool area. I like that. It's a great little investment spot. You've got a lot of builder lots. You can tear down properties and build. I love it. It reminds me of a little portion of where we're looking to invest up north, so we're keeping a close eye on that. So that's heavily amount of inventory. The sales are a lot slower there, but there's some big money to be made. But take a look at this. Let's rewind. So that's February. 3.4 months of inventory. Watch what happens to Fort Myers. Fort Myers goes from 7.8 months of inventory, and they lose literally 2 months of inventory in 1 month. So what does that tell you? That there's a ton of appetite for purchasing. And just remember, like January to March, this is like our spring market, so this is where we get heavily inundated with new inventory. This is where it gets stacked. So we should be building up much more inventory. Instead, we're actually coming down. That means there's a huge appetite for purchasing right now. So that's why when I talk to clients, they're saying clickbait, where they'll send me posts about these properties that are never going to sell and there's nothing selling. And then look at this. This is from our real estate board. So these are real numbers. Let's look at. Let's see here. So this is February of 26. Let's go February of 25. So look at Bonita Estero's half the inventory that we had last year. Fort Myers 2 months less. Cape Coral is so Cape Coral's down as well, but a month and a half. And then Naples Park is just a half a month. Now let's go to previously owned properties. So these are resales. Let's see what this all does now. So you're gonna have a jump here, mind you. Okay, so this is where we have this in-season influx. So in-season right now, previously owned supply. So Cape Coral goes from 8.1 to 8.8, which would make sense. Bonita 6.4 to 6.1, still dropped off on the resale side of it. Cape Coral 6.8 to 6.5. So, and then Naples Park, previously owned, so resale has actually gone down in inventory as well. So let's put these all together and give us like an overall where we're at. So with new construction and resales, Bonita Estero's 5.9 months, Fort Myers 7.9, Cape 6.1, and Naples Park 7.7, which is fantastic. Now look at this. Look where this was in 2025 in March, around the same time, where Bonita Estero had literally almost 3 months more of inventory. Cape Coral, Fort Myers stayed the same. Cape Coral dropped about 2 months, and Naples Park dropped 4 months of inventory. So imagine that. So that's where we're going right now. Let's look at one more thing here. Amount of sales. Let's see, days on market. This is important, clearly. Let's just go to resales. So Bonita Estero up. So 65 days to sell a resale. Fort Myers 13 days, which is insane. Cape 43 days, Naples 63 days. So again, A little bit of a jump. So 2 months to sell a property in Estero Bonito, the average, which is fine. So new construction, look at this craziness. Fort Myers, 8 days on the market, which is insanity. Bonita Estero is 102 days, so about 4 months. And Cape Coral, 50, so like less than 60 days, and Naples a little bit over 60 days. So it looks like Bonita Estero having a little bit more days on market than the rest of the communities both. So let's say 70 days, which isn't terrible. Let's see. Sales price. This is important as well. So sales price down from month over month. Up in Cape, down in Naples Park. Fort Myers steady, and then Bonita Estero down. Just remember, Bonita Estero's got such a small portion of homes compared to these other communities, only 800 houses, let's just say, currently on the market. That's why you're gonna have a higher shift in, because if you got one heavy sale, then one low sale, it brings down, that's why you've seen a lot of that equalizer. But that's pretty much it for today's Mondays with Steve. If you have any questions regarding real estate, please give us a call. We'd be happy to guide you guys through your purchase or sale. Have a great day.